1. Introduction. My name is Lena. I want to tell you my story. It is about love and growing up. I was a young girl when my life changed. I was only 18 years old. This was the year I married George. Many people around me had strong opinions about this. They said I was far too young to get married. My parents, my older friends, even some neighbors, they all told me the same thing. They would say, "Lena, you are just 18. You have not seen much of the world yet. Life is long." But I did not listen to their words. My heart felt very different. My heart was completely full of love for George. I knew very clearly what I wanted for my life. I had just finished school, so I was very new to adult life. I did not know many things about the world or about being an adult. I was still learning every day. George was a little older than me, which felt good. He was 24 years old. He was a very kind man, always gentle with his words and actions. When he looked at me, I felt truly special. His eyes made me feel like I was the only person in the whole world, important and loved. This feeling was new and wonderful for me. He made me feel safe, important, and truly seen. We met for the first time in a small cafe. This cozy cafe was near a big green park in our town. I remember that day very well. I was sitting at a small table, drinking my coffee slowly and reading a book. Then he walked into the cafe. Our eyes met across the room. He smiled at me warmly. It was a very simple smile, but it was also very kind and true. I smiled back at him immediately. We did not say anything special to each other at that exact moment. We just shared that simple smile. But that one simple smile started everything for us. It changed my life completely from that day forward. From that moment, I knew my life would be different. I did not know exactly how, but I felt it deeply in my heart. That smile was the very beginning of our story, a story about a young girl and a kind man, and a love that grew very strong despite what other people said. I was ready for this new life, even if I was only 18 years old. I believed strongly in our love and in our future together. 2. A fast wedding. After only 3 months, George asked me to marry him. It was a normal Tuesday evening. We were walking in the park where we often went. The air was cool and the sky was getting dark. George stopped under a big tree. He looked at me with his kind eyes. He did not have a ring, but his words were clear. He said, "Lena, I want to spend my life with you. Will you be my wife?" My heart beat very fast. I did not need to think about it for a long time. I felt so sure. I said, "Yes, George, yes, I will marry you." I was very happy. I hugged him tightly. Some people might think 3 months is a very short time. My friends asked if I was rushing. My family wondered if I knew George well enough. But for me, it felt like the right choice. I wanted to be his wife. I wanted to build a future with him. I felt a deep connection to him, like we had known each other for many years. I wanted to wake up next to him every day. My desire to be his wife was strong and clear. Our wedding was very small. We did not have a big party or many guests. We went to the city hall. Only our closest family members were there. I wore a simple white dress that I bought from a small shop. George wore a dark suit. The room was not fancy, but it felt important. The person who married us spoke kind words about love and partnership. George held my hand during the whole ceremony. His hand was warm and strong. My parents were worried about my decision. They wanted me to wait. They thought I was too young to get married. My mother cried a little. My father looked serious. They asked me if I was truly ready for such a big step in life. They had dreams for me, maybe to study more or travel the world. They wanted to make sure I was making a good choice for my future. But when they saw my face, they understood. My happiness was very clear. I could not stop smiling. George talked to them calmly. He told them he would take care of me always. He promised to love me and protect me. My parents saw that I felt very safe when George was near. They saw the love in my eyes when I looked at him. My father shook George's hand, and my mother gave me a long hug. They knew I was happy, and that was most important to them. I felt a deep sense of peace standing there with George. I knew I was with the right person, and I was ready for our new life together. 3. Our first home. After our wedding, George and I found our first home. It was a very small apartment in the city. The rooms were tiny, and the walls were thin. You could hear sounds from other apartments sometimes. The kitchen was also very small, with just enough space for one person to cook. For some people, it might not have been a good place. But for me, it felt like a dream. It felt like a castle, our own special place. I was so happy to live there with George. George had a job at a bookstore. He loved books, so it was a good place for him to work. He left early in the morning and came home in the evening. While he was at work, I stayed at home. I wanted to be a good wife. I wanted to learn how to do everything. I tried to cook and clean. I thought it would be easy, but it was not. I had never cooked much before. My mother always cooked for our family. Now it was my turn. I tried to follow recipes, but sometimes I made mistakes. I burned the food many times. The kitchen would fill with smoke. Other times, the food did not taste good. It was hard. Cleaning was also new for me. I wanted our small apartment to be clean and nice. But sometimes, I did not know how to do things right. There were days when I felt very sad. I felt too young. I felt like I was not ready to be a wife. I would sit and cry. I missed my old life sometimes. I thought about my parents and my school friends. I wondered if I had made a mistake by getting married so quickly. These were difficult moments for me, but George was always kind. When he came home and saw me sad, he would come and hug me. He never got angry about the burned food or the mess. He always said, "It is okay, Lena. We will learn together." He told me that nobody knows everything at the start. He said we were a team. He promised that we would learn how to do everything little by little. His words made me feel better every time. He was very patient with me. He helped me understand that it was okay to make mistakes. Our first home was small, but it was full of new lessons and George's kind words. It was the start of our life together, learning every day. For what is love? Marriage was not always easy. I learned this quickly. It was not only about happy days, kisses, and smiles. It was also about difficult times. Sometimes it was about patience. George and I learned many new things together. We learned about life, and we learned about each other. We had very little money in those first months. George worked hard every day at his job in the bookstore. I tried my best to manage our small home and make our tiny apartment comfortable. But sometimes there was not much food on the table. Some days we could only eat very simple meals. We often ate plain bread and thin soup for dinner. We always shared what little we had. We sat close at our small table, sometimes in silence, sometimes talking quietly. We did not complain about our situation. We just tried to make the best of every moment together. In those hard moments, I learned many new things about what love truly meant. I learned to love George even more deeply than before. It was a different kind of love than the excited feeling I had when we first met. This new love was stronger. It grew from understanding and sharing difficulties. It grew from seeing him work so hard for us, even when he was tired. It grew from his kind eyes and gentle touch when we had very little. This love was quiet and strong, like a deep river. We spent many evenings talking. We did not have much money for fun things like going out. So we talked instead. We talked about everything. We talked about our day, our feelings, and most importantly, our dreams for the future. These talks were very important to us. They made us feel close, like we were truly a team. They gave us hope for better days ahead. I told George about my dreams for my own life. I wanted to study more. Maybe one day I could become a teacher. I imagined helping children learn and grow. It was a big dream for me. George listened carefully to every word. He always encouraged me, telling me that I was smart and kind, and that I could do anything I set my mind to. His belief in me made my dreams feel possible. George also shared his dreams with me. He wanted to write a book. He had many stories in his mind, full of interesting characters and exciting adventures. He would sometimes tell me parts of his ideas. I loved listening to them. He wanted to write stories that people would enjoy reading. It was a big dream for him, too. Our love grew stronger with these shared dreams. It was not just about what we had in the present moment. It was about what we hoped for together in the future. We built our dreams together, one quiet conversation at a time in our small apartment. We held onto these hopes tightly. They made the hard days feel much easier to bear. Our love became deeper with every challenge we faced and every dream we shared. It was a true test of our young marriage, and we were slowly but surely learning what love truly meant. It was more than a simple feeling. It was a daily choice, a promise, and a shared journey. 5 bad days. Not every day was easy. Marriage was hard work sometimes. We did not always agree. We argued. These moments felt heavy in our tiny home. I was only 18 years old. I had just finished school. I did not know much about life. George was 6 years older. Sometimes he forgot how young I was. He expected me to understand things. For example, George worried about money. We had very little. He would talk about bills. I tried to listen, but my mind went to other things. I did not always understand his worries. He would sigh. I just did not know how to help. Also, I sometimes wanted to do things my way. I was learning to cook, and George would try to show me. I did not always like his way. I wanted to learn by myself. It was not always easy to share. One night I felt very sad. The day had been difficult. We had a small argument. I started to cry. I felt very young. I wondered if I had made a mistake. Hot tears ran down my face. George saw me crying. He put his arms around me. He held me close. He spoke softly. "No, Lena," he said. "You did not make a mistake. We just need to keep growing together. We will always learn together." His words made my heart feel better. I knew he was right. We were young. We would have bad days, but we would also have good days. We just had to keep trying. I knew we would be okay. 6. Life gets better. Slowly, our life became brighter. It was not a sudden change, but a quiet, steady improvement. After the difficult days, a feeling of hope began to grow in our small apartment. I could feel a difference in myself, too. I was still young, but I was learning more each day. It felt like we were starting a new chapter, full of small successes. I found a small job teaching children in our neighborhood. It was only for a few hours each day, but it made a big difference. I taught them simple reading and numbers. The children were happy to learn, and I was happy to teach. It gave me a purpose outside of our home. I earned a little money, and it felt good to contribute. This job helped me feel more confident and less like the scared young girl I had been. At the same time, George started writing short stories. He would sit at our small kitchen table in the evenings after his work at the bookstore. He wrote about everyday life and simple moments. Sometimes he would read his new stories to me. I loved listening to his words. It was wonderful to see him follow his dream. His writing filled our home with a quiet joy, and it showed me how strong his spirit was. We saved money together, coin by coin. Every little bit we earned, we put it away. It was not much at first, but slowly the small pile of coins grew. This gave us a feeling of security. We did not have to worry as much about every meal or every small cost. We started to dream about a future that was more comfortable, a future where we had more space and more freedom. This time of working and saving together changed us. I still felt young sometimes, but I was learning so much about life and about being a wife. George and I started to feel less like two people who were just in love and more like true partners. We talked more about our plans, and we made decisions together. We understood each other better, even without many words. We were a team now, facing everything together. Our love was not just about feelings. It was about working hard, supporting each other's dreams, and building something strong. Life was not perfect, but it was certainly getting better. We were growing, not just as individuals, but as a couple, ready for whatever came next. 7, our future. 2 years passed quickly. Our life continued to get better, just like we hoped. I was now 20 years old and George was 26. We had worked hard and saved our money. Finally, we were able to move. We found a new home. It was much bigger than our first tiny apartment. This new house had 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a kitchen. The best part was the garden outside. I had always dreamed of a garden. It was a space where I could plant beautiful flowers. I spent many hours there, making the soil ready and putting small seeds into the ground. Watching the tiny plants grow brought me great joy. It felt like our dreams were growing too. Our new home felt like a true home. It was not just a place to sleep. It was a place where we could build our future. George liked to sit in the garden and read his books or write his stories. I loved to bring him tea while he worked. We often ate our meals outside when the weather was warm. These moments were simple, but they were very special to us. One day, my parents came to visit us. They traveled a long way to see our new home. Before, they were worried about my young marriage. They thought I was too young to understand what marriage meant. But now, when they saw us together, they saw something different. They saw how happy George and I were. They saw how we worked together. They saw our strong love. My mother hugged me tightly. She told me she was proud. My father smiled and told George he was a good husband. Their visit made my heart full. It showed me that our hard work had paid off. I looked at myself in the mirror. I was no longer the young, scared girl who married at 18. That girl was gone. Now I was a woman. I felt confident and strong. I understood much more about life and love. I was not just George's wife. I was also his best friend. We shared everything, our joys and our worries. We had grown up together, and we were building our future, brick by brick, flower by flower. Our love had become deeper and stronger with every passing day. We knew we could face anything together. 8, a good choice. When I think about the past, I see a very young girl. I was only 18 years old. I remember that day so clearly, the day I said yes to George. Many people thought I was too young to make such a big decision. They said I did not know enough about life or about love. Perhaps they were right about some things. I did not know everything then. My world was small and my experiences were few. But my heart felt a strong feeling, a feeling that told me George was the right person for me. Looking back now, after many years, I can understand why people worried. I was just starting my life, and the path ahead was unknown. But I also see something else. I see how love made me grow. It was not a simple path. Our love story was not like a fairy tale where everything is perfect from the start. We had difficult times. We learned about money, about patience, about understanding each other. We learned to talk about our problems and to forgive. Each step of our journey, each challenge we faced, taught us something new. It taught me about myself, and it taught me about George. Our love was like a plant that needed water and sunlight, but also strong roots to survive storms. It grew stronger with every year, with every shared smile, and with every quiet moment of support. We built our life together, piece by piece. Because of all this, I do not regret my choice. I do not regret marrying young. This was a good choice. It was a true love that helped me become the woman I am today. It helped me learn how to be a partner, a friend, and a wife. George was not just my husband, he was my teacher and my biggest supporter. He saw the young girl, and he helped her become strong. He always believed in us, even when I sometimes doubted our path. I know I was brave. It took courage to marry so young, to step into a new life with so many unknowns. It took bravery to face the worries of my family and the hard times with little money. It took bravery to learn and to grow, not alone, but together with another person. And because of that bravery, because of that strong feeling in my heart, I found a love that will last a lifetime. It is a love that has seen us through good days and bad days. It is a love that understands, that forgives, and that always finds its way back. When George holds my hand now, I feel safe, loved, and completely sure. This feeling is a quiet happiness, a deep peace. It is the feeling of knowing I made the best choice for myself, a choice that gave me everything I truly needed. It gave me a wonderful life and a love that continues to grow.